Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn webinar. Simone Tellini here with Gary Whiteson from POAC Autism Services. We're just giving folks a couple minutes to get on board here. And we have a really terrific webinar for you today. Just going to give a few minutes for folks to get on board. Hope you guys are enjoying the day. Hope that you're going to be hanging out with us on and off throughout the day on Facebook Live. We have a lot of things going on. If you missed it this morning, Gary and I had a little conversation that you're more than welcome to take a look at 10 o'clock. And then Mr. Gary did story time for the kids at 11:15. That video's up there. Horton hatches the egg, which was very cool. And we'll be getting started with this one shortly, Internet Safety for Children with Autism. And we couldn't think of a better topic at a better time, as so many of our kids are on the internet for a variety of reasons right now, and for probably a lot of time, a lot of hours. So we had started we thought about the idea of doing this webinar, and just at that same moment, we started getting some questions from parents about these issues, so it was really perfectly timed. So what we're going to do today is I'll stay on here. Gary and I will both be on here. We're going to put our PowerPoint up, and we'll present on this topic. Gary, do you have any words?
No, it just really ties in with our mission. You know, POAC remains to be really the safety expert for the autism community. We have our whole Autism Shield program that started with training law enforcement officers. We expanded it to firefighters, EMS, for other first responders, rangers, air marshals, hospital staff, security, and then training for the parents and caregivers as well, school bus drivers. So if it involves safety and autism, POAC is really in the forefront of this. And this so ties in with, the internet safety. We have a lot to go over with internet safety, and an hour's not going to be enough, but real concrete stuff you can walk away with and have forever that will change your life, stuff you might not have thought of, and definitely stuff I'm sure you never knew.
The video will be on our Facebook page, so you can go back and see it again. You can share it, whatever you want to do. We do have a comment section. If you want to ask questions, as Gary mentioned, we do have a very limited time and a lot of information. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to get to any or all questions in the comment section, but if we can, we certainly will. So if
you want to share this for a little viewing party, that's always helpful because it gets out to your friend. Because we're really talking about incredibly important stuff today. So go ahead, and Simone's controlling the thing. Okay. So that's what we're doing today, internet safety for children/adults with ASD. I was joking with Simone earlier that our presentation starts with Bob Dylan, which all good presentations should. And it's amazing. I don't want to think how long ago Bob Dylan wrote, the Times They Are A-Changing song. But if you can't read the words, it's really talking about the times are changing, and the waters around you have grown, and you better accept it that you're going to be drenched to the bone. So if your world's worth saving, you better start swimming, or you're going to sink like a stone. Guys, our world has changed. Our kids are growing up with technology, not growing up like we did. Or at least most of us have. And we better start swimming, and we better learn from POAC and experts and bring in, educators, how to help us and our children deal with the technology and staying safe. How quickly this has grown. I put a date there, June 29th, 2007, 13 years ago. 13 years really isn't that long. POAC is going on 21 years being around. Well, June 29th, 2007 was when the first iPhone was released. Think about that. 14 years ago, no iPhones. Today, everyone has one. Everyone. A message that I want to make very, very clear. Parents want, I shouldn't say parents, people in general want the magic purple pill. Give me the thing that's going to protect my child on the internet. Give me that one device I can buy, the one website that will work. Banning, technology, keeping technology away from our children doesn't work. And our kids are smart, very smart, and many, many of them are way smarter from a technological point of view than, frankly, many of us will ever be. So what we have to do is, work with them directly, have the conversation, limit access, monitor their activities, and really be a driving force working with them and talk about digital safety together. So the things we're going to be talking about, no, wrong way. Strategies for talking to your child, student, about internet safety, managing the risk, choosing content and resources. And when I say resources, I'm saying these things are incredible with tools and lesson plans that could be implemented today. And a lot of individual rules for parents, educators, and the child themselves. So the first question, Simone, when should my child be public on social media? What do I mean by being public? I can search Chris Whiteson, boom, Chris pops up. Chris Whiteson, Toms River, New Jersey. That is being public. That someone could, look you up, see where you live, see where you go to school, that you have a password, that you're on social media. And social media is any of these apps, and we're going to talk about them. So ultimately, it's up to mom and dad, and I respect mom and dad's decision. But since you asked the question, our opinion and most experts' opinion, children under 13, no way, no how, should have any social presence whatsoever. Are you clear? Under 13, they should not have a sign on to TikTok, on Facebook, on Snapchat, Instagram, nothing. Doesn't mean that they're not using the internet. Children are using the internet at, hell, my granddaughter, 2 years old, is calling for Siri, and Alexa. So children will use the internet, but I'm talking about having a social presence. Under 13, absolutely not. And what that does, it stops outsiders and predators from finding them. Around age 14, 15 is the time we can expect our kids to, if they have the ability to be, have a social footprint, start using these sites with a unique password. But we're working with them between that transition. It's not, oh, you hit your 14th birthday, here's a brand new iPad, go with it. It's a process that we're going to talk today. A lot of times people say to me that, hey, all the other kids have phones, or my child needs a phone for safety. God forbid, and anything from a school shooting to lost or whatever. So, and all the phones have internet ability. So I'm giving them free reign. Well, guess what, guys? The Gab phone here, it's incredible. It's on sale for $70 for the phone. And then it's just a $20 a month plan with unlimited talk and text. No internet on this phone at all. No games, no apps. It's a phone. And you can text, but the texts are just words, no pictures. While it does have a camera, so you can take pictures and video, you can't send them to anybody. Great alternative for many of our kids, almost like a starter phone. Think of it as like a starter smartphone. Like maybe my child can start with this rather than an iPad or Android that basically has unlimited access to the outside world. Strong passwords. Cannot stress this enough. Passwords, let me start by saying parents, I'm sorry, kids, parents, you should all have your child's passwords. for every single application that they are on, you need their password. And let's say if your child's at a certain ability level and trust level, and you've established this over, a period of time, I can see with certain individuals, children, okay, mom and dad, I'm putting my password for every single app in here in a sealed envelope, and I'm giving it to you, but you're not opening it. Now, I don't want you going through my stuff. It's tantamount to our parents reading our diaries if you had a diary when you were a child. But again, we understand what I'm talking about here at that certain level. But the younger kids or kids at a certain ability level, no. Parents have access. And why do they have access? Because you're going to be going in and checking. Frankly, for Christopher, I set a password for him, my son. He doesn't set his own passwords, and he does not know what his password is. So he can't change it, and he can't change formats in there. I strongly recommend a password manager, and there's a ton of them. You can just Google password managers. And what it does, it really, you can have complicated passwords that really can't be guessed. You don't want to put password as your password, or the kid's name's Christopher 1, and then you change it for the next month. No, you don't want the same password for every single application. And how do we keep track of them? You better not be keeping track of them by having them all written down on a piece of paper or in a folder in your phone called passwords. So a password manager, there's many out there. A couple of them, Dashline, Keeper, $60, $30 a year. Let It Pass is actually a pretty good, decent free account. They do have a premium account that you could pay for. I don't see much difference between their free one and the premium, so I would just let that go. Security, tons. When I tell you tons, there's tons of security. Net Nanny, $55, and that's for 5 devices. You really want to check all of these things, how many devices they have. We have friends with 3, 4 children. They each have a device. In fact, they may have multiple devices. They may have a cell phone and an iPad or a tablet, and a PC in the house as well. So you want to look at all of those things. And we're going to give you resources at the end, websites to search. But really, really do your homework on that, because there are tons of stuff from like routers that will block filter stuff coming into your house, changing your DSN, your VPN. And if you don't know what those letters mean, you have to do a lot more research. Enable 2-step verification. We have that at the POAC office. To log on to anything, we get the code, and then we have to enter the code. All of those things really, really help. People say it all the time, don't use public Wi-Fi, like Starbucks, and basically so many places now. It is not safe. I cannot stress that enough. I know DNS. Thank you, Robert. I'm a little dyslexic sometimes with my letters. Robert's actually he does a lot. Some really great videos that he's done for POAC. All of these things are impactful. So I don't use the public Wi-Fi. Consider buying a hotspot, personal hotspot with your kids. So if you're out, you can do that as well. Oh, so the word about software, ugh, I joked is my word. There's too many. You have to research. View their activity. Small, jump in? No? Okay. We're going to view their activity. All screen time's not the same. You're going to help their device make decisions, work with them, manage their apps. I cannot stress this enough, because really what we're talking about are the kids on their apps. Every parent, you need to be on every single app that your child's on. You need to know how the apps work. I would involve your kid. Hey, show me how this works. Get involved with them that way. Every single app you want to Google. What are the safety of TikTok, of Instagram, of Facebook? What are the how ways? And there's articles, and you want to always check the latest, because guess what? They change all the time. They update with every new update of Facebook. Things we used to be able to do it 3 months earlier don't work anymore. So definitely check on these as well. And I mentioned it already, the resources that we're going to give you at the end are really, really going to help. Have the conversation. Guys, this is where it starts. Again, we cannot give you that magic, VPN, the software, hardware, right? We can't tell you keep away because kids know, and all kids know. I was thinking driving to work today, when I was a young boy, I remember people used to do the cats in the cradle with the string. Everybody knew how to do that. That was before internet and people had phones. How did every child in the world know how to do that? And the Miss Mary Black, all dressed in, how did every child in the world know how to do that? Kids, it just spreads out. And now with the ability to internet, our kids know, how to, unblock phones and how unblock cable boxes. It's crazy. We teach our kids, think about this, and this is really big for Corona right now. We're teaching our kids to wash their hands, to have, physical safety, etc., to make themselves immune from a virus, right? We're teaching them that. We get that. It's black and white. We have it in our heads. We now need to teach our kids social and emotional immunity. Have to. And for children on the spectrum, and when I say children, I apologize, children and adults, individuals on the spectrum, even more important, core deficit of autism is the social deficit. Our kids tend to be very good on the computer, some exceptional, well gifted. And, if you think they can't bypass and work around, things, you're just wrong. So we have to have the conversation. How often? All the time. Once a month. Once a month, you're going to have these conversations. If need be, let's say, oh, this is beyond me. I can't. If you're one of the people looking for the any key, and it says hit any key, you're looking for the any key, okay, you're going to need help, and you're going to bring an expert in to help. Maybe the school media specialist or a counselor. NetSmarts. I love NetSmarts, and it's listed there. And I have the link. Actually, they're part of the Missing Kids network. Incredible. That link right there is for their presentations, multimedia presentations geared for parents and schools. I would want every child to go through this, and they have all different ages and abilities, and there's videos, and for the young kids, they're cartoonish, and for the older kids, real kids. And the older you get and the more age appropriate you get, they're talking about sexting and exploitation and bullying and kids committing suicide and challenge, like all the way up. And they're customizable. You want to slide out, delete the slide. You don't like the order, move it around. And it's free, guys, 100% free. Mentioned every month. And here's the other thing. We're not being punitive. I don't want to be, if I find you on that site, if I find you one more time, that's it. I'm throwing out everything. We know that's not going to work. You know what that's going to do? It's going to make the kids want to go on those sites even more so, so definitely don't want to do that. You want to, I know I have this later on somewhere. The thing I do wrong all the time, someone I jump ahead, but Mothers Against Drunk Driving, their contract that they have, the contract is, as the child, hey mom, if I'm drunk and I don't want to drive because I'm impaired, drunk or, some otherwise impaired, I call mom or dad up and come pick me up. And part of the contract, I'm not going to get yelled at. I'm not going to be punished and made to feel horrible. All right, we're going to have the conversation later on when it's appropriate and talk about it. But that trust that we have allows me to reach out to mom and dad. So if I'm on an app that I'm not supposed to go on, and my mom has yelled at me before for being on that app and made me feel like, oh my God. And now this time, a bad person's reaching out to me. If I don't feel that comfortableness and trust, frankly, the trust with my trusted adult, whoever that trusted adult is, I'm not going to go to them. And if I don't go to them when dangerous things happen, guys, we know what happens next. We know what happens next. Next slide.
And we're going to use that word trusted adult throughout this presentation. And for some kids, you may actually have to not just define what a trusted adult is, you may have to make a list.
Yeah.
These are the people I'm talking about by name, mom, dad, brother or sister, these certain people.
School counselor.
Because it's a hard concept, right? Because somebody they met online and now they're friends, well, they're trusted, So we will be using that term, and it may have to be defined pretty clearly for some of our kids.
Yep. So how do we do this? How do we start? A family online safety agreement. Guys, Google it. When I tell you there's hundreds, there's way more than 100 of these. But what it is, it's a contract, an agreement between mom and dad and your kids. And you look at everything. And here's the thing. You're not going to print this contract out. Okay, guys, here it is. Sign on the bottom line. That's it. No, because there's no buy-in. You're working on this together. I gave you one example there on the website. What I suggest is for you to look at, I don't know, as many as you want to, a dozen, more, and then sit down with your child and work on it together. Actually ask them, hey, Johnny, how many hours do you think is reasonable for you to be online at night? Should there be limits? And I'm not saying we say whatever the child has, but you want buy-in. If you make it too restrictive, too punitive, the child's not going to buy into it. You want them, this is a joint thing and a conversation, and we're going to lead up to this, right? And at the bottom, mom and dad sign it and the child signs it. So and there's consequences if it's broken. And there's things in there as well that mom and dad have to abide by. So there's things that we absolutely have. I dropped my phone, sorry. So some suggestions on doing this. I love visual supports. Our kids tend to be visual learners. Pictures of reminder, internet safety. You might have this right where they use their device. If they use it in a certain area, maybe in a laminated, or if we don't laminate anymore, in a plastic, page protector, websites that are appropriate, search engines, or maybe ones that we don't go on to. I rather post websites I'm allowed to, because if you post websites that I'm not, what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on those. So I tend to visual supports always show the behavior that I want to have. Role playing with your kid, mom and dad. And hey, what would you do if someone says, hey, you want to meet for whatever, or oh, I was going to throw out all my PS4 games that I have here, but do you want them? We could meet. I could give them all to free. I'm just going to throw them out. Start thinking these scenarios. We've seen this stuff in the past. It's been around forever. I remember I was watching Oprah, I don't know, 20 years ago, and they had a detective with a dog leash. No dog, by the way, a dog leash. And went up to young kids. Hey, I lost my doggy. You want to help? Every kid went with them. Every single kid went with them. You want to role play. Social stories. We know how well they work. Carol Gray, invented them, laid them out, scripts, narratives. And again, we can work on this in school in the IEP, working at home. We're all working together. If a child gets a new device or a new device comes into the home, let's say the family gets a PC for the first time, or you decide to get the iPad for one of your children. I just don't say, this is your iPad, Sally. It's a probationary period. All right, we're going to try this, and we're going over all the rules, and we're going in this together, and we're going to be touching base. Everything we're saying, we're having the contract, we're meeting once a month, a probationary period, maybe for a month, and check back, and oh, I'm sorry, you're not using it the way, I'm going to take it back, and then we could work towards using it again. Simone came up with a penny example as another suggestion. If you want to go over that, Simone.
Yes, it's another visual a visual support. So if you give 10 pennies or however many pennies per week, and each penny represents 30 minutes of screen time, you allow the child to spend it however they want to. But the caveat, of course, is when it's done, it's done. And if you give them 10 pennies a week, I think what a lot of teachers find is that they're done by Tuesday. So it teaches them actually a couple of different skills. It teaches them how to manage their time and the value of having that responsibility as well.
Yep. Including IEP. If this are skills, if internet skills and safety skills are vital to our kids, and guys, they're vital to our kids. Everything that's vital to our kids should be in the IEP with goals up there. And again, certain levels, like for Christopher, when he was in school, I wouldn't have had a goal for IEP in his IEP about password safety because Chris wasn't at that level for that. But what's appropriate for your child, but you absolutely want to go over that.
And the IEP issues should be anything. Anytime you say, my child will never do that, that should be, maybe that should be an IEP issue. So one of the things we're going to talk about is limiting time, right? Or even with the pennies, we're limiting time. And if you say, I could never limit the time, he won't let me do that, then working on that skill to be able to accept no or accept, these kinds of limitations could be something that you're working on in an IEP, in school, outside of school, in a home program. Always consider that when you have that. Even right now with what's going on with COVID, right? We hear a lot of times my child won't wear a mask. Maybe that's something that we need to work on if that's going to be something that's going to be part of their immediate future.
Exactly. NetSmarts, just to mention them again, great training tool. Great training tool. I love acronyms, working, on an EMS squad. EMTs have a lot of acronyms. It just makes it easier for us to, assist people. So play it safe. P, personal information. We're not sharing it. And guys, we have to explain what personal information is. I took a picture with my son and daughter, the three of us, and I did a selfie in front of the house. Well, guess what? House number was in the picture. You have to be careful and explain it. Never, ever, ever give out your full name or where you live or where you go to school, period. Never. Don't have a username, Gary, Tom's River, or Gary, TR. Don't do that. Don't do that. L, trusted adult. Simone mentioned that already. You have to have trusted adults, and you want some trigger points that you go to your trusted adult. Someone's asking for personal information, I'm going to mom and dad or whoever the trusted adult is. Attachments. I don't know about you. I don't open attachments. I do not open attachments. That's something I really, really had to work with on Chris. And Chris is at the level where if there's attachment, he comes, hey, Dad, look, can I download? And usually the answer is no. Usually, every once in a while, yes, it's appropriate. So we will have them download it. Why? Your feelings are important. If something happens to our child or your student and they feel uncomfortable because of it, they have to know they can go to a trusted adult. And again, do you see this thing? We have this contract. We've built up this trust. We're having these conversations all the time. And a lot of stuff happens to our kids. A lot of bad stuff happens to our kids. So we have to have that there. Information. Remember the information you put on, we see online, it's not always true. We see that all the time. For a lot of our kids on the spectrum, they see it, they hear it, they take it as fact, and that's a whole conversation as well. It's not always true. T, take breaks from your device. Can't stress that enough. The almost addictive personality, of our kids. I did a presentation for the Chiropractic Association like 2 weeks ago, I guess now. There's something called tech neck that chiropractors work on because the kids are all, with the head built over, and those are all children, just not kids on the spectrum. Take breaks, and you can set that up. And frankly, those breaks could be like reinforcement. I'm doing homework, maybe after 20 minutes, I get 10 minutes. Yeah, we could talk about that later. Spending money online, all these free apps and these free games, yeah, with really nice commercials. Well, guess what? Oh, you want to build the castle quicker? $2.99. You know, be careful. Don't buy anything without permission, kids. Act politely. You know, I always joke around how people act in the church parking lot after church. What the hell happened to these people? They're like, oh, peace be with you. Don't you dare pull in front of me. Act polite online. Don't be the bully. Yeah, we tend to think of our kids as bullying, as being the bullied. Our kids can be the bullier as well. Act politely. Anything you wouldn't say in person to somebody, don't say online. Friends. You know where I'm going. Who's your friend? You know, who's your friend? Friends are people that are going to come over to your house for dinner, that you're going to have a play date with. Someone that, you know, is in your class potentially. And these are our friends agreed on. Just because you play with them on Fortnite all the time doesn't make them your friend. Doesn't make them your friend. Enjoy yourself. Internet's fun. Games are fun. Simone added the last one, be afraid of free stuff. If it's too good to be true, guess what, guys? It's true. Next slide. Risk. All right, what are we talking about? Let's go down the list. Screen time addiction. Raise your hand. Can I get an amen? Yeah, screen time addiction. We have a lot of, you know, technology addicts out here. Bullying. Exposure to explicit content. And let's be clear. Pornography. Violent behavior. Dangerous things. Dangerous. All these like TikTok challenges and challenge. Like I saw one, this is a couple of years old already. The cinnamon thing, where to eat like a cupful and you basically throw up. There are these challenges that, yeah, Simone's like, oh, you know, there are these challenges that are horrible. Kids have died because of some of these challenges. We want to be really careful. Privacy breaches, online predators, scams. One young man that I know with autism, Michael, and he gives me permission to tell the story. You know, he had a girlfriend on Facebook. Beautiful bikini-clad model girlfriend who, you know, was always short of cash. And so Michael would give his paycheck, you know, every week to her. For about 1.5 years, this happened. You know, I have a really good friend, I won't mention her name, who was, you know, did the same thing to somebody she met online. And, you know, she's a teacher, not special needs. It happens. Scammers are very good at their job. Very good at their job. Online enticement. I can't stress this enough. This is a real thing. When I volunteered at my church, we had the Ocean County Sheriff's Sex Crime Unit come in. It was part of the training. Anybody volunteer at the church had to go through, you know, this training. And they had the sheriff tell us a story of a man from New Jersey, Ocean County, was convincing these young girls to disrobe, waist up. Oh, you broke your mom's computer. You have to stand there without clothes on from the waist up in front of a white wall. And his sweet spot was like the 14-year-old child. He's in jail. He's never coming out. But he convinced literally dozens of young girls to do this. If we think these things can't happen to our child, that means we're not taking precautions and ensuring that they know what to happen, what to do if these things start to happen. If we think it can't happen, guys, you're greatly increasing the risk that they will. So these are it. There's some things. This was, I can't read the newspaper, but the one that right was a Washington Post. Apple says that App Store is safe and trusted place. Well, they looked at it and they found 1,500 reports of unwanted sexual behaviors just in 6 apps. And many of them were from minors. You know, so this is happening. We have to know that. So, guidance. This is it. So our kids need guidance. Isn't that our job? You know, I always say, My job as a parent, as Christopher's parent, is to make him as self-sufficient and independent for when I no longer in his life, right? When I'm gone. That's it. I know we don't like to think about it, but isn't that what we want? And it doesn't have to be gone. We want our kids to raise that bar wherever it is for them, right? But raise it as high as possible. So some guidance. We can bookmark age-appropriate websites on their devices. You know, there's kid-friendly search engines. Did you know that? You know, from Google, that filter out most virtually. You know what virtually means? Most, but not virtual. Most, but not all. Bookmark. Make internet safety and limits an IEP goal. Set time limits. Time limits are important. You know, location of their computer. I will not ever have a device in my son's bedroom. Nope, nor should you. Frankly, nor should you. Install parental control software. And again, you're going to have to do your own research about that. We don't have the time. It depends on the child, but there's software, parental guide like Net Nanny, other ones. Search engines. I love the Kids Surf, safe surf engines. Make them understand you're there to support them. Again, I'm not trying to control you. I'm helping you, and we're doing this positively. Establish absolute rules. Homie, don't play, right? You know, they should never, absolute never meet an online contact in person. And if someone asks them to, I'm going to their trusted adult immediately. No adult contacts. Not even Mr. Gary. You know me. You know, I'm a law enforcement instructor. I have all these great things, and I'm a nice guy. I will not accept a contact, Facebook friend, from any child. Nope. I don't even do it for individuals on the spectrum who are older, but still, you know, the parents have guardianship of them. I do not. And when I get those requests, and guys, I get them all the time, weekly. I go to their parents and I tell their parents, guess what? Johnny just requested me on Facebook. And I get, oh my God, you know, usually. Or sometimes I get from the mom, oh yeah, they asked me. I told them to go ahead. No, should not be, should not be. You know, just not. Next. Surf engines again. Safesearch. This is the Google one. When you could turn this on, and what's nice, I tried it out. I put in I don't know, sexy girl. No results came up. Do that in regular Google. Guess what you're gonna get? You know, I was trying to trick it. I was trying, you know, to go really good, and they have it for videos and images and just general stuff. Nothing, guys. Nothing's 100% accurate. You know, and what do we do because things aren't 100% accurate? We're checking in. We're having these conversations. Parrot rules. All right, let's talk rules. First one. 100% of the time, always, capital letters, bold, be on the same apps as your kid. If your child has an app on their device, mom and dad, you have that same app on your device. Any question? 100%. And you're researching that app. Type in, oh, Instagram parental controls, Instagram security. And trust me, there's tons of stuff. In fact, Instagram has a whole book you could download. Really good stuff. You know, you're on there. Have your kid get involved. Oh, you know, I don't know how to use this. I don't know how to use this app, Johnny. Show me. Get your kids involved. Make it fun. You know, they're the experts in that. We're not. We're not. Know the passcode to your kid's phone. Guys, who owns the phone? You do. Not Christopher. You own the phone. Just like a car. And I'm having access to that anytime. Anytime. I did mention earlier that if you have an individual at a certain age and certain responsibility, certain level, maybe I have the passcode in a sealed envelope. Okay, but I have it. I have it. Do not, listen to this, moms and dad, don't let your kids sleep with their phones. What do I mean? Don't have it in their bedrooms at night. Do not. So many benefits. Charge their phone in your room. Charge the phone where they don't have access to it. Because I'm laying in bed, phone beeps. Oh, not sleeping, just the light of it. Can't stress this enough. Remind your kids who strangers are. They had dinner with us. This is part of that ongoing conversation. Check with them. Test the water, if you would. Let them see if they understand. And yes, Angela, great information for all kids. Absolutely. This is good for every single child out there, 100%. But it's even more important for individuals on the spectrum. Stay off anonymous. I can't say app. You know the word I'm trying to say. And there's a list of them on Smart Social. Smart Social, love that app. It's in our resource. What does that mean? An app where people don't have to disclose who they are to get on the app, right? But I can still comment, and I can still get stuff, and I can still reach out to you. Make a social media contract. That's what we talked about earlier, the contract that you're working with it, and both people are going to sign. All parties are going to sign. Got to stay positive, foster an environment where your child, student feels comfortable coming to you. Again, that's where I left ahead, the MAD contract. And really for our kids that are going further, kids that you can see being independent, going to college, holding a job. You want to start getting on there about, hey guys, guess what? Employers look at this stuff. Employers look at your social stuff. All police departments that I work with, you want to be a police officer? They check what's your Facebook account, what's your password. They do a thorough check, and they know how to get the blank ones. Instagram. Do you know what fake Instagram accounts are called? Finstagrams. And guess what? Your kids have Finstagrams. They do. I'm telling you, they do. Maybe you do too. We have to be positive. So those are the parents' rules, maybe a couple more. But children's rules, students. No phones, devices at the dinner table. This is a Mr. Gary. Please, guys, stop this. Stop this. No devices or phones at a table. We just can't tell our kids to do that. If I'm telling my children no devices at the table, guess what? My device is not at the table either. It's not. How good is that? No devices in the kids' room. I'm sorry. No. No devices while doing homework. Well, I'm doing homework. No, you're doing your homework. Well, let's take your phone and put it in the kitchen cabinet or wherever. The point is not next to their kid. Keep it in another room. Now, we can use that device as a reinforcement with the reinforcement schedule. Hey, Samantha, you're working on your homework for 20 minutes. Guess what? After 20 minutes of working on your homework, come in the kitchen and mom will give you your phone for 10 minutes. And we're going to have a timer for you to do what you want. And I'm not saying 20 minutes, 10 minutes is the right interval. Depends on your child. No devices after agreed upon time at night where the devices go to sleep. Again, that's on the contract that you're working with your child. No meeting anyone in person. You notice I'm saying that a lot. This happens. No sharing personal information. Notice I'm saying that a lot because it happens. And beware of free stuff. It's not. It's not. So, hey, what apps did my child download and purchase? How do you know? If you have an iPhone, go on your iPhone, your child's iPhone that has their account. They're go on their phone, go to the App Store, click on their profile picture or whatever they have, up right corner. And then you can look at every app they purchased or downloaded. Oh, I didn't know they were on TikTok because it's hidden. I didn't know they were on Snapchat because it's not on their phone when I looked for it. That's how you do it. Android, the things there, you go to the Google Play Store, same kind of thing. Select the 3 dots, click it, My Apps and Games, select all, everything comes on. We want to check this stuff. It's our job to do this. Know the green, gray, and red zone apps. On Smart Social, they're listed there. Divided into, all right, green apps are okay. We have to supervise and we have to watch. It's not carte blanche. But these are apps that researching we feel pretty good about. Gray ones, okay, maybe extra, you know, and red zone, they shouldn't be on a red zone app, frankly. Next. Smart Social, you know, I love that. So green zone, positively impact social media footprint, parental guidelines. Gray zone typically features a lot of private messages, disappearing content, group chats, and that are hitting from parents. And red zone literally will allow your child to talk to strangers and encourages it and promote bullying, anxiety, depression, because maybe the young girl is like this thick and she's worried that's too thick. And most people don't look like this, you know, and you start comparing yourself and, you know, so many things. We have to stay on top of it. Dangerous social media challenges. So let's talk about a couple apps real quick. TikTok. Wow. TikTok is, I think, over 1 billion people long. I forget the number, actually. It's a social media app. The icons on the bottom over there, 15 to 16 songs. This is a red zone app, but so many of our kids are on it. It does lip syncing, dancing, acting on comedy sketches. Apple says 12. Google says 14. 800 million active users. In April of 2020, 800 million people all over the world. This site is known for predators. You know, you can message, you know, the child will post a little 60-second skit that's really fun and really innocent, and then I can post suggestive things and stay in contact and follow and know when they're on. Really bad. So some things that we can do, you know, ensure that the online friends are people they know in real life. There is a family pairing aspect that your kids are going to hate, but it's a brand new security device, parental device for TikTok. And you could actually turn on different security measures on this. But this is not a recommended app. And I know I hear a huge, oh my God, my kid loves this app. You go on there. A-Rod's on there. J-Lo was on there. You know, all famous people are on there. Parents are getting more on it now. We don't recommend it, but if you do it, this is one that has huge risk. And if you go on to social media and a couple of the other suggestions, detail how to stay safe safer on this app, but not recommended. YouTube's owned by Google. Google's the #1 search engine in the world. YouTube, #2 search engine in the world. But it's the largest social media network in the world. 2 billion with a B monthly users. 81%, 15 to 25 years old. You know, and 70% of what you watch is determined by YouTube. They kind of filter in stuff for you. There's privacy settings. In settings, you could go to time watched. Click remind me to take a break remind me to take a break in 15 minutes, half an hour. These are things that you can do. Also, in the settings for YouTube, guys, please do this. You go in the settings, click off the autoplay. This way, if your child or student's looking at a video, it doesn't automatically run into the next one. That just creates like addiction and the zombie and it's over and over and over. And I'm after watching it. You know, click that off. It doesn't help. You have to then physically select it. Please realize I'm giving 1 or 2 little things. There are a host of security measures for every single app. We just don't have time to go to them all. Instagram, 1 billion, you know, mostly younger people. Get your phone, open an Instagram account, hold down the profile icon, lower right, you know, because you know why? These are what we call Finster accounts. So you open their Instagram and, oh, John Smith, this looks great. You go on John Smith's Instagram account because you're checking up as you should. And, oh, everything's perfect and he's not. But you go in the back end, hold their profile. Oh, wait, John Smith from Jackson? Oh, you look at that account and it's everything that shouldn't be on there very often. Next, Snapchat, 360 million worldwide, photo, video, audio. You know, this thing has this app has a snap map that literally tells you where you are. I can find your house this close, to where you are. So you have to go into your profile, click the gear icon for the profile, and under who can view me, turn on the ghost mode. Keep it off. This way they can't see where you live when you post it. Otherwise, the predators or anybody are able to see where your child lives, or wherever at least they're when they post it. Fortnite, who knows Fortnite? Dear God, multiplayer battle, you know how much stuff is said over those headphones. You could turn off the chat setting. I would. Checking often. Predators count on the parents not checking in. Did you hear that? Predators check on the count on the parents not doing their job. What's your job? Knowing what your kids are doing online. Netflix. Dear Lord, anybody else think Carol Baskin killed her husband, fed him to the tiger? Other than me. Okay. Carol Baskin. Sorry. But I think I'm kind of Netflixed out. But here's the thing with Netflix. And Netflix did just establish some really nice things now. My Netflix account, if you sign on, there's 3 icons. Gary, Christopher, kids. Underneath Gary, unlimited. Underneath Christopher, no R-rated movies. G, PG, PG-13. For kids, for the grandkids, just G level, and you have to go and select it. What most of us do, because we don't want to have to remember our PIN codes, you don't set a PIN, you just have it, okay, so our kids use their account. They're not. So set the PIN code. So every time they go in, they have to put the PIN code. More importantly, really the PIN code for your account is what you need. The kids you can leave open as long as they have access to it and there's nobody else in the house that bothers, but you can do it. And now Netflix allows you to remove individual titles or shows or series. NetSmarts, love NetSmarts. Can't stress this enough. We talked about it. The video series, great for educators, teachers. Get this, parents get this. And the cost, it's free. No cost. It's free. It's free. And it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Next one. All right, so where's my kid? What do I mean? I mean, where's my child? 50%, 49, of all individuals with autism will go missing sometime in their life. It's a fact. That's a fact. So if your child has a cell phone, there's several ways to locate them. This is just not so much internet safety, but safety in general. Every single service provider, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, all of them, they have a family locator plan for $10 a month. One is $5, almost all are $10. Where you could set up geozones and okay, your house, the school, babysitter's house, or grandma's house. And so every time that device enters or leaves one of those zones, mom and dad or whoever you want gets a text messages. Or, hey, where's my kid? I come home, he's not here. I can look up instantly and see where my child is. Great things. There's also free things, apps like Life 360. I think that's, Life 360 and GPS Works are 2 good examples. Those are kind of like 2 of my favorite ones. Don't tell me you have better ones. You got to do your research. You have to do your research. Life 360, real important as well. You can also use free stuff. Find My iPhone. I used Find My iPhone this morning because I didn't know where it was. It fell in between the cushions. Another option for kids who are at a certain level, perhaps, if they don't have a phone, but they're still at risk for wandering, think Project Lifesaver, device that they wear. If you haven't attended POAC's Hidden Dangers workshop, you need to. I just have this in here just because sex offender registry websites The top one is nationwide. The bottom one is New Jersey only. I know I check it out. You know, I want to know where the predators, or at least convicted predators, you know, are that live close by. You know, sometimes the ones who are not convicted yet are the more dangerous ones. But I always check it out. This is our, you know, coming to the end of resources. Bunch of great resources, and everything from Smart Social, which I love. And Smart Social has a free newsletter that comes out twice a week, 2 times a week for free. If you want to pay $10 a month, you become a VIP, very important parent. I'm signing up for that because I want to know the latest. But they have tons of free stuff. I mean, you could go nuts on all their stuff, and webinars and YouTube videos and trainings, really, really great stuff. The Missing Kids is the Net Smart stuff. All the other resources are great. We talked about most of them. So guys, Giving Tuesday, we need your help. Almost every single one of our fundraisers, our ability to raise money went away with COVID-19. April, you know, March, and now going into May, all of our stuff was canceled. And not postponed, canceled. So we need your help. Our walks right now, they're all scheduled to be virtual walks, which we're going to have a video coming up explaining that in detail. But the best way, if you want to help POAC to stay here, to continue us training our first responders, over 72,000 trained, countless lives directly credited for that program alone, and all the other stuff. You know, the hundreds of events and trainings that we've always had every year. Go to poacwalk.org, start your walk team. And I understand it's a rough time. And not everybody has money, or money's tight, or you're uncertain. It doesn't have to cost you anything. You know, start your walk team, sign up. And once you sign up, you can do the Facebook fundraiser, link it to it. It's really pretty easy. And I always find, I was talking to Simone as well, people want to help you. I have friends and family that always, oh, Gary, how can we help? But they don't know what to do. And they almost feel inadequate. So during the walk season and walkathon, and I have people that give me money that I'm shocked. I had a friend that I worked with at Prudential Insurance 27 years ago, gave me $100. And he doesn't even live in New Jersey anymore. He goes, oh, I follow you. I just wanted to, you know, I love what you're doing. Wow. If people gave you $20, if 5 people gave you $20, it's $100 that could go to something which could help pay for a sensory kit for an ambulance that we're doing, or training, or a workshop, or help offset the cost. So guys, please do this. And we have a benefactor that said for any Facebook fundraisers that are open today for POAC, that he will match the total that they bring in, dollar for dollar, which is amazing. So if you raise $50, you're actually raising $100. So really, really good. Simone, anything else you would like to add?
No, that's about it. I did post a few things. We have an app that helps you fundraise. It's called POAC Autism. You can download it wherever you get apps. We do have to run because our Princess Story Time is coming up in just a couple of minutes. But you had something else?
Yeah, someone just posted, would internet resources be appropriate in childcare? Yeah, the NetSmarts one would. Absolutely. Maybe not all the other ones. But I would share all of those, with the adults, because adults have, individuals in their life. So yeah, I would do that. And like Simone said, tons of really fun stuff today. We're going to be going Facebook Live all day long, and we want it to be done by 2 o'clock.
Yep, we're jumping out now, and you can jump back in at 2. Thanks, guys.
Bye.